Rick's grandfather may have fought in the World War, but surviving this episode was the real fight. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, and this quite could possibly be the worst episode of The Walking Dead to date. I know a lot of people like to shit on Still because it was a Daryl and Beth episode, and I'm going to put more of the emphasis on Beth because a lot of people just don't like Beth. They don't think the character Beth is any good, and I agree. Spending 45 minutes to try and get some girl that's never had a drink before a drink isn't exactly what you want to see in a zombie apocalypse or any television show for that matter. However, at least there was a little bit of character development. At least there was some good dialogue between the two. What we got in this episode was pretty much nothing. We got the group of survivors walking about from point A to point B, obviously hungry, dehydrated, still feeling the loss of a couple of deaths in the group. But, I mean, there was nothing interesting, nothing advanced. They just, at the start of the episode, they had fuck all, and by the end of the episode, well, they found some gay guy called Aaron. I mean, it's not exactly good unless Rick's going to bend over and let Aaron bum him. I don't know what this episode achieved. There was nothing in it, really. I mean, you could have just fast forward to the ending scene where Aaron appears, and that pretty much would have, saved you 44 minutes here. The group, just like they said, they started on the road, they started on foot, they finished on foot, they found a barn. Good for them.
Good for them, and that's exactly what this episode was called. Them. And you look at the group, what are they expecting to find on the road? I mean, it's the Walking Dead scenery, there's nothing there. Right? Seeing you've got a group that's like 15 strong, you're not going to find enough supplies out on the open road in the middle of nowhere to, feed a group. You're not.
Yeah, Daryl kept going into the woods to see if he could find, what are they expecting at this point? If they want supplies, if they want to find food or ammunition or, equipment or whatnot, surely they should be going into towns, cities, convenience stores. What do they expect to find in the woods? A big pile of steaming shite, maybe?
Normally I'll admit, right, sometimes we're a wee bit biased and we say, episodes of TV shows were complete filler and we could wrap it up in 10 seconds. You could literally wrap this up in 10 seconds, right? Sasha is grieving, and so is Maggie, and so is Daryl. They're the only three, really, and they're all dealing with it in different ways. Sasha's letting it all out. Maggie's kind of keeping it all in. While Daryl's kind of just trying to distract himself from it while going off hunting for supplies and shit. Father Gabriel burns his collar. Rick makes the iconic quote that we are the Walking Dead. Sasha slashes Abraham's arm. Carl finds his music box, and then a gay guy comes out the closet, but in this case it's fucking trees.
That's pretty much it.
I said to him when we were watching it, why couldn't Aaron have just come out the trees last episode when they were burying Tyrese? And it would have served the exact same purpose. For me, this is the problem with having 16 episode seasons. I think when a 16 episode season, unless you've got a concept or a plot that warrants a season of that length, you're always going to have filler. And the fact that Walking Dead's had this since season 3, and then in some cases in the later seasons, you're looking at 20 episode seasons or 24, it's always destined to fail, in my opinion. You're always going to get a few episodes in a 16 episode season that are like this, and this is by far the worst, man. 42 minutes of nothing.
I think 16 worked with season 3 because you had the two different groups, the two different communities. Therefore, I think the couple of extra episodes that it had from season 2, I think it worked because, like I said, they were bringing in an entire new group, and you did need a few episodes to solely focus on them and build them up. But yeah, 16 episode seasons, you can make no mistake that the better quality TV shows don't tend to go 16 episode seasons. Now, some TV shows that are famous and have went longer seasons tend to be The Walking Dead, obviously. Supernatural as well. Every season was about 16 or 20 episodes in that. But when you look at shows that are considered the best of all time, they don't tend to go 16. I think between 10 and 13 is a good number. That's what Game of Thrones, Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad do. But I think when you're going 16 and beyond, then you're just committing to filler at that point.
No, you absolutely are. And this episode was the epitome of filler. And the more this season goes on, I think it started off strong with the Hunters. But see, recollection, that big word that I'm looking for here, because all the location I'm seeing are fucking trees. I think season 5 to this point, I'm honestly putting down as the weakest season.
Yeah, no. After the first half, I was thinking, because so far I probably got. I thought season 4 was like the weakest at the first 4. Then every other season that comes after that is weaker than the next. But I mean, watching that after the first 4 episodes, I thought maybe I got it wrong and that season 5 was actually better than season 4. But I don't know. The last few episodes have just made me change my mind.
Yeah, I look at like the end of this season, what's to come. I'm thinking of big moments and big things, and I'm struggling. I can't think of anything. All I can really think of going into like the next 5-6 episodes of this season is them meeting up with Aaron's boyfriend. I think they get into Alexandra at the start or the end of next episode, and then it's like them getting used to Alexandra. Rick's putting police uniforms on. He does that whole speech again. He kills the husband or the boyfriend or whatever of the woman, his new love interest, and then Morgan shows up looking like, "What are you doing, Rick?" And that's it. This season's very dead. See, you look at people talking about this season like, "Oh, this is when the ratings peaked. This was peak Walking Dead." For me, it's so flat. Like, you've got every fucking character under the sun in this episode, and it felt awful. This is like the Breaking Bad's Fly episode, but a million times worse. At least they admit it. We blew the budget. We have to give you this comedy-filled episode where Walter and Jesse try and kill a fly. At least it was funny. See this? I mean, see, considering like the wages half of these actors would be on an episode. Like, Andrew Lincoln's probably walked away with like $2 million for this episode for talking about Nazi Germany in here. I like wars and references like that, and actual people that were fucking men.
I don't think he's on $2 million an episode.
Well, whatever he's on, I don't think half.
The last figure I heard was $700K.
Right, well, is he worth $700K this episode?
I don't think anybody. I wouldn't pay the entire cast between them $700K.
No, and the worst scene for me in this entire episode was the bridge scene where they're just pushing walkers down the embankments. Abraham is getting like 3 walkers at a time, and he's like grabbing them and like pushing them. He's like not even. It's not like there's like no effort. It's almost like he's willing to die. And maybe you could argue is
yeah. I mean, this happens to a red shirt and they're getting bit, but obviously a main character does it and they easily just push the walkers off. See, when you think though how like even in a couple episodes earlier in this season, like he was attacking walkers at like 3-4 at a time and just getting up close and personal to them, easily could get bit, but of course it never happens because he's got that main character plot line where he just can't die. I didn't like it. Maggie is crying. She's upset that Beth's dead, but I mean, she didn't really seem to care about Beth at all since the prison split. And yeah, maybe she just found out that she was alive, but I mean, come on. Maggie's entire focus since the prison split was just finding Glenn. She didn't seem to give a fuck about Beth, but now she's picking and choosing, I guess, when to care. Sasha is upset that Tyrese is dead, and she's just been reckless, putting the rest of the group in danger, almost got Rick killed. She slashed Abraham.
Which he doesn't even do anything about. The guy that's in the most pissed off mood, I'd say, in the entire camp, maybe apart from Sasha. And he just walks. There's not even like a look. He kind of half acknowledges the cut in his arm, which at this point, sometimes you're led to believe that these cuts could kill you. Look at the guy in the prison.
Yeah.
Big tiny. This could have been fail, and Abraham just just walks away. Michonne has to cool her down. Dead on.
Yeah, Michonne has to be the one that has to scold and berate Sasha. It's almost like the show's so woke, or they believe that Abraham and Rick are the good guys, whatever. They're the protagonists, so therefore they can't aggressively talk to Sasha. That's pretty much it. It's fucking bullshit, but I mean, that's what we're dealing with. I mean, I can guarantee you if a male guy was being reckless and he slashed Abraham or he almost got Rick killed, do you think Rick and Abraham would have just stood by and said nothing? I mean, absolutely not.
We've also got Sasha killing like a group of dogs, which was sad to see.
But also, I mean, we look at a couple episodes ago, Abraham finds out Eugene was lying and he punches him in the face a few times and Eugene cracks his head off the back of the fire truck. If it was Rosita that was telling the lie, claiming to be a scientist, then I mean, how would that scene have played out? It would have probably just been Abraham crying and maybe Maggie would have had to slap Rosita. I mean, shit like that is so fucking dumb.
No, it is so dumb. We've also got other scenes this episode where like Sasha kills the dogs. You've got the eat dogs. What do they do? That's when Gabriel finally throws his cloth in. He's had enough. You've also got water being left from Aaron. Hi, I'm your friend. Eugene goes to drink it, right? And then Abraham slaps it out of his hand and the group looks at Eugene in disgust. But see at the end, see if Eugene wants to take this risk and sacrifice himself for the group, so to speak, even though it's more just he's a thirsty fat bastard, then just let him do it.
Yeah, first of all, the guy's an adult, right? And if he wants to take the risk, then he should be entitled to do that. Second of all, maybe Eugene is feeling a bit of guilt here and he's thinking, look, I'm not strong like these guys. I'm not really pulling my weight. So I'll be the guinea pig, so to speak, and try this water that's been left out by a so-called friend. But they don't let him drink the water. Then it just starts conveniently raining out of nowhere. So this entire time, we've not seen a single drop of rain. They get the water. They've got a chance to drink water. They don't take it. And then 2 seconds later, we get like a downfall, a fucking, rainstorm.
Thunderstruck.
And they spend time like just sitting on the ground, opening their mouths instead of... Well, if you're not going to drink that bottled water that's been given to you, at the very least, would you not empty it all out and then fill it up? But they don't do that. They just kind of waste their time and, they fucking lay on the ground.
They look up, oh wait, this isn't just rain, this is like a tornado, this is a storm. So they go to a barn that Daryl
probably the best scene was Rosita and fucking Tara laying on the ground with her wet shirts. Like, that was probably as good as this episode got.
I'm just glad Eugene didn't do it, man, with his man tits bouncing about.
Nah, that wouldn't have been too good. But yeah,
that's why Abraham didn't want him to drink it all over himself.
No, you gotta keep that shirt dry, buddy.
That's the reason Aaron was sniffing about. He saw Eugene.
Daryl was smoking some cigarettes. He found a bar and he stubbed some of the cigarettes into his hand. I don't know why.
He's a fucking weirdo.
He's trying to be hardcore. They go to the barn, I guess, to protect themselves. I mean, instead of getting the water, instead of like using this advantage to stock up in water, they just run to the barn. And you can't stock up in water when you're inside the barn. They stay the night there. Maggie has some nightmares, and there's like a fucking thunderstorm. Trees come down and it kills the walkers outside. Next day, they wake up, walkers are dead. Sasha and Maggie are the two that go out, the two that lost, I guess. They lost Tyrese, they lost Beth, so they go out, and all of a sudden, there's a guy, and the guy is Aaron, and he says, I'm your friend, I'm the guy that was leading the water. He wants to speak to them, and he says he's got good news, and he needs to speak to their leader, Rick. So that's it, that's how the episode ends. Aaron appearing out of nowhere.
No, I hate it about this, so it's like, they do it in such a way to lead it like with an opening for next episode. No one in an apocalyptic world comes out the way he did. Like he leaves so much to the imagination. You need to be clear cut and hit them with the hook. The hook, line, and sinker.
Also,
line.
he's putting a lot of trust in this group.
Yeah, like he should be saying pretty much straight away like what the game plan is. Oh, here I'm from a bigger community, scouting for survivors we think are fit for our community. I get it, right?
And I think he should have them at gunpoint.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know, it's ridiculous.
He approaches them with his hands up. Look, I just do not believe this, right? See, this is the way this Aaron guy approaches people all the time. Are you telling me he's never got it wrong once and he's never approached people that aren't that great and they've just not came into Alexandria and just took the place over? Well, I mean, you could argue this group kind of do that. But you know what, yeah. I'm just not buying it that this Aaron guy, he watches people for like half an hour, then decides if they can come back or not. It's retarded. And I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. Aaron out on his own with a large group, putting himself at such a disadvantage. I mean, could you imagine Rick's group doing this?
Yeah. Be ridiculous them trying to do this. And
I know Rick had the questions, but they never like sent one person out to approach like groups of 10, 12, 15 people.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, guys, I'm going to give this 1 or 2 out of 10. This one just... Honestly, like... it's very rare on a TV show where you could miss an episode and not miss anything. And this is one of them. Apart from Aaron at the end, but even then, you're just missing a guy that like is from Alexandria. It's not nothing. He could have just appeared in episode 9 at the end. But anyway, 2 out of 10 for me.
I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10 as well. Normally, I think to give a 2, it needs to be a very Well, it was a bad episode. Who am I kidding? But yeah, no, not many. I tell you what. I mean, if you had to, I joked about Tara and Rosita being the best part of this episode, but I can't really name you a good scene. So therefore, I might stick by that as being the best scene of the episode. There was just no really redeeming qualities. I didn't think there was anything overly great or anything good. Or I'm struggling to pinpoint one thing that I thought, oh, I liked that, or that was a good moment, that was a good scene.
You can have a filler episode with loads of comedy in here. I know it's The Walking Dead and they were starving and dehydrated, but come on, you can offer something else than what we got.
Yeah, it was just very depressing. I've had enough of Sasha. I just wanted to fuck off at this point. Yeah, the group's boring. It's just not very good.
Yeah, not very good, guys. Anyway, 2 out of 10 for them. Hopefully things will spice up when we get to Alexandria, but the only thing spicy there are probably the cookies that are going to be getting made. But anyway, till then, peace.